this today. It is the PDF version of a really good essay. Awesome. Okay. Shut that one down. Leave. Okay. Yeah, bring us up into one. Okay. This is, you can just give me the cover pages. All right. This is yours, and, oh, I already said it over there. Thank you. Okay. No, it's a blank document. Oh,
Miss
we're
Thompson?
recording.
I don't think so. Hey, Miss Thompson?
Good morning.
No. We have a question about when our drafts are due.
Mrs. Thompson, can you hear us?
Okay, I've already answered that one. That's trash, that's trash. Oh, that's not something I need. Okay, sorry. Ah, post, we just need Newville now. Or Noodle.
Miss Thompson?
Oh, that's a really pretty wall over there in post. I see one hand.
We have a question about when our drafts are
Oh,
due.
there's the top of the TV. Dusty. I'm sure mine are dusty as well.
Miss Thompson, can you
Hear us?
Quirky things happen.
Miss Thompson, can you hear us?
I hear talking. Are y'all talking to me or just talking?
Yes, ma'am. We had a question about when our drafts are due. Because we woke up this morning and they said they were late.
There is an announcement that gives the due dates for the next week that I did on Tuesday that gives the new due dates and everything, okay? Oh, let me go grab that. She wasn't here. So. There's nothing like reading on here. Get back in here. But I'm gonna go over it. I'll go over the dates and everything that's happening right as soon as we get Noodle. They should be here. It's 9. Okay. It's amazing how many text messages I sent. Okay. And just as a heads up, I don't have y'all's essays graded. 4 of y'all were the last 4 essays submitted. I got all the high school kids done, so I just like your 4. I should finish them today. That means what I will do is I will scan and I will send them back to you in a course message, okay? So you'll need to go in and look at course messages. You know, and you know how to get to that. Do you know how to get to that? Okay, I'll attach it to your grade. I'll scan and upload it to My Grades. You'll find it in My Grades, so there'll be a link to it, okay? Kind of like how you did when you were looking at the paragraphs, okay? Still no Noodle. Okay, wait, where's Brooke? Okay. All right, so let's talk about how our schedule has changed. Because we were supposed to be doing peer revision today, but the outlines were so unimpressive for all of my classes that I chose to extend the due date, even though we're still going to start comparing, for you guys, Monday is the final due date. Don't panic though. Let me go into the class. I need to get out. And I had, during class, at 8 o'clock, I had 6 course messages from students in the class. I'm like, they don't pay you've got to pay attention. That's all I got to say. All right, let's see. Let's get into you guys. Oh, there's Noodle. Okay. When you go into course content and you go into week 6, all right. I'm trying to get everything up before I go into there. Make it bigger so you can see it. Right at the top, it tells you what's happening the rest of this week. So right now we're going to go over a PDF. We're also going to look at a sample essay. So if you have the PDF that says Santa Barbara Community College on it, would you hold it up and show them what it looks like? Yeah, it's like, there's just one page. Just hold up the first page. Yeah, them. That one, you got it the first day of class, okay? Yeah. I can't, it's not going to do good to show them. I need them shown. Okay, so if y'all will pull that, we're going to make some corrections to it. But right now I want to talk about that. So that's what we're doing today, is going over the PDF about the CNC. You also have a handout that's a Word document that's that one right there. Yes, that's yours too, okay? You have that document. That's going to tell you what I don't like in that, but there are some good things in the PDF that we're going to look at. You're going to turn in your draft of your compare and contrast essay to me tomorrow in Blackboard. So you can see it right up here. On your checklist, the very next thing is turn in the draft of the CNC essay here. That is worth 12.5 points. I will glance over everybody's, but because so many people don't pay a lick of attention to what I put on your narrative drafts, I'm only going to look at the thesis statement and the topic sentences on the body paragraphs. I'm not looking at anything else. I'm not going to tell you that you're using second person, and you shouldn't be. I'm not going to tell you that you're using first person. I, me, my. Don't use that, okay? I'm going to look at, for organization is all I'm going to look for. So if you have questions about your paper and you want to get another opinion, remember, you can go to Course Resources, has tutor.com in it, and you can upload papers between 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. and you can talk with somebody, not talk, you're on the computer. There'll be somebody live going over it with you, okay? But they'll probably ask you, what was the assignment? So don't turn them in, 5 sentences and expect them to give you a lot of help if you haven't done more. So you're gonna turn a draft into me here, 12.5 points. That's a normal grade that you would get. Tomorrow, you're also going to have to take the Grammar 2 subject, verb, pronoun, antecedent, agreement quiz. It opens at 8 a.m., it closes at midnight. Make sure you have the 2 pages I gave you that have that, I guess, CMC or CWC on it, that I told you all the things to put stars by. That's what you need to pass that quiz. Okay? So you'll see that tomorrow, but right underneath that now, to do peer revision, we're gonna have to work over the weekend. I don't have any choice, because I can't give up too many days on my argumentation unit. It's gonna take the rest of the semester to do all the stuff for that, okay? So you click on Compare and Contrast Discussion Board for peer revision, and the instructions are, when you click Create Thread, they'll be there again. Create a new thread and copy and paste your essay into the thread. Then it says, then you will respond to 2 other students' essays answering the following questions. Yes, I know there's a semicolon in the wrong space. I don't have time to go correct that in 4 different sections right now. I'm trying to finish grading papers, is what I'm trying to do, okay? So, but what you need to first do is upload a copy of your essay. So go My Essay. I have no idea what I've copied here, but I'll paste something in. We'll see. Oh, it's actually a copy of the questions, okay? So you submitted your essay, all right? So, am I in y'all's class? Yeah, I'm in your class, okay. So there it is. So when you go in now, I'll delete one of mine. And don't respond to mine because there's not essays in there. You're going to be looking at other students' essays, whether they're from Post or New Deal or South Plains. And there's no guarantee anybody will look at your essay. If you don't turn it in until Sunday night, nobody's going to look at it. Except, well, I probably won't have time to look at it either if you don't turn it in until Sunday night. It's due tomorrow night, okay? So when you're in the discussion board, let me do one thing. To respond to somebody else's essay, you need the copy of the questions. So I'm going to go back into this week. I thought I had my sound off. Sorry. I'm going to go back into week 6, and for your benefit, I'm just going to stick another item in, and it's going to be the peer review questions. Peer review questions for the discussion board, and I'm just copying that in there. I happen to know that's the document that I just copied, okay? So, once your paper's in, if you get it in a timely manner tomorrow, you may not be able to do peer revision until Saturday or Sunday, but you'll go in, if you scroll down, you're going to see right down here, you can just do this. You can just highlight that and copy that. You know how to highlight, click and drag and copy? And then just go Control-C and that will copy it, or you can right-click and copy if you're working on a PC. I don't know what you do with the dadgum Mac, okay? But you go back into the discussion board, and you pick somebody's thread, the 2 threads are only mine, and you click Reply. And so what you can do then is once you have those questions copied, you can paste them into the thread and then answer them. And up here is the essay. So you've got the essay to read, and then you answer the questions down here. And you have to do 2. Now this discussion board is worth 25 points. So instead of peer revision only being worth 25 points, it's now worth 37.5. Because, yeah, when you turn the draft into me, you get 12.5. Normally, when you send me the comments back, you get another 12.5. Well, because you have to do 2 papers, I'm giving you an extra 12.5 points. So there's extra credit in doing peer revision. So if you didn't do great on the narrative, or you haven't done well on one of the grammar quizzes, this is an opportunity to get 12.5 points. And so if you don't do peer revision at all, you lose 12.5 points, because 12.5 of it is required. But it's the only way I could build in some extra credit. But you have to do it over the weekend. Sorry. That's just how it works. So you submit that, and once you've uploaded your draft and responded to 2 other people's drafts, it will kick in for me to grade. If you never respond to anybody else's drafts, it's hard for me to grade it. All I'll see is a little blue ball that says you haven't done the whole job in the grade book. That's what it shows me, okay? So that's what you have to do on peer revision. I apologize. And again, the 4 of you, Alex's paper was turned in early, so she got hers back early, okay? Yours will be returned to you, if not today, tomorrow, okay? And in my grades, that's where you'll find your graded essay. They're sitting right here. I just have 5. Lauren's not here, I have 5 too. I have 5 to grade. Hopefully I can get them graded, today in my office after I get out of here, so. All right. So now let's talk about the PDF. And the PDF looks like this. It says Santa Barbara Community College, okay? If you have your copy of that, that's going to be very helpful. It's a lot easier for you to make. I'm going to make notes on this, and you'll be able to write them right on the hard copy. Do you not have yours, Kutia? If they're out, you can make notes when I tell you stuff. That's the point of that, okay? I need some caffeine to get going. And then we're going to go over the sample, the good sample. It's not a great sample. It has some organizational errors, but it has some good topic sentences. It does some good things in it. It does some things that aren't so good. So on the first page, which it says, as always, the instructor, right underneath writing a compare contrast essay. Okay. I'll scroll down, and it basically tells you everything I went over in the PowerPoints and stuff the first few days. The only thing I want to do is where it says some common organizational structures include block method, subject by subject, point by point is, it helps if I hit draw, is alternating. Okay. Comparisons followed by contrast. I really don't want to read that paper. It will not, if you choose to write, compare how they are alike and how they're different, stop and think about it. You're going to compare 2 phones. You're going to tell me how they're alike. Well, you can make phone calls. You can play games. You can do this. You know, I mean, I pretty much know that. I got a phone, okay? Or if it's cars or whatever you're doing in there. That's why comparisons, a paragraph about comparisons and a paragraph about how they don't relate, it's really all about that. Yes, we can talk about how a phone has an operating system, or a phone has, most phones have cameras, right? So the camera, we can say, yes, they have cameras, but then you can say, but the cameras on the 2 phones differ greatly. One has, I don't need 3 cameras. Why do I have a phone with 3 cameras? I don't even know which camera I'm using when I take a picture half the time. And I drop my phone so much, it's kind of ridiculous, okay? So do you see why, that's why I don't want you to do comparing and contrasting as 2 paragraphs. I would rather have you do block or alternating, where you're doing a better job of comparing and contrasting. The second page is the page we're going to spend some time on. This is the one that says point by point method and block method. The good news is that I did not hit the arrow that makes it change its orientation. I normally hit that instead of when I hit. So this essay is about comparing cats and dogs as possible pets. It's not a bad topic. If you want to write about it, just be sure you don't use the exact same words that are listed on this. So, point by point is the one we're going to go over, but you also need the document that looks like this. It says, where's home? Let's go home. Yeah, almost there. I've got it so big I can't get to it. Okay. I'm just strolling up to that. This is the paper about energy drinks. Okay. And we'll go over that. Let me shut that down. Okay. So, point by point method. This is, okay, but it has some errors too. This is actually paragraph 1. That's the intro. And we're going to see it says an intro is an introduction of a general topic. You get down to a specific topic, and then you give a thesis. So the areas covered in the essay, and they're going to give us both subjects and the criteria to be evaluated by. Both cats and dogs, there's your subject 1, subject 2. Make excellent pets, but an appropriate choice depends on the pet owner's lifestyle. There's your first criteria. Finances, second one, and household accommodations. C. So we have 3 things going on. 2 subjects, 3 criteria. That's what I'm looking for in your thesis. So if I go over and I look at the block method, I'm going to see introduction, specific topic, the exact same information. So the introduction is the same regardless of which organizational method you use. It's all determined by the topic sentence of your second paragraph. That tells me which organization is. So when we go over here, we're going to see, it says aspect 1, that's another word to use in place of evaluative criteria, feature, trait, Those are all synonyms for the same thing. So this is paragraph 2, but it is body paragraph 1, aspect 1, feature 1, trait. I'll just put the word trait up here. Okay? Now, I have a problem with their topic sentence. It says, cats make less of an impact on an owner's lifestyle. In alternating point by point, you should only mention the criteria in the topic sentence. So this is actually sentence 2. If you go look at the Word document that I handed out that was right behind that, the one that says, that's not it. Do I not have it up? I guess I must have put it in. Hold on. There it is, topic sentence corrections. Okay. Here it is, the topic sentence changes for page 2 of the Saint, it should be SMCC, it should be SBCC PDF. Paragraph 2, topic sentence should be, before purchasing a pet, a person should consider the effect on lifestyle. Okay? Do you see how that's more general? All it talks about, it doesn't tell you which pets, all it gives you is the criteria that's going to be evaluated, the effect on a person's lifestyle. Okay? So that should be the TS. And if you look, cats make less of an impact on an owner's lifestyle is what they gave as the topic sentence. But if your topic sentence says cats, then all you can talk about in that paragraph are cats. You can't transition to dogs. You with me? So if I had seen cats make less of an impact on an owner's lifestyle, I would think they were doing block method, because cats is what's the focus, the subject of the sentence is cats, not lifestyle. So that's why you have to make that change. So when we go back up, hold on, when we go back over here, I forget to go to Bing. So cats don't have to be watched during the day, detail it easier to get care if the owner travels. Then you have to transition to dogs in that second body paragraph, because you're focusing on the criteria. You talk about cats in the second sentence. This is more like kind of the lower sections when we were doing the personal paragraph. You have to have a transition to dogs. Pack animals shouldn't be left alone, harder to get care. Delete where it says transition sentence. I really don't like transition sentences at the end of the body paragraph if you don't do them correctly. And I don't want to spend time to teach you how to do that. So if you just end with, dogs, when dogs run away, there can be a lot more trouble or something, along those lines. So I'm going to go back over to that sample or the PDF where I corrected it. And if you look, paragraph 2, topic sentence, so that's sentence 1. Then sentence 2 is cats make less of an impact on an owner's lifestyle. And I tell you, you need at least a couple more sentences about kitties. So that's 1, 2, 3, that's 4 sentences. And I haven't even touched dogs in this body paragraph. Transition sentence. On the other hand, now I tell you, I'm switching my topic. Dogs require significant changes in a person's lifestyle. 5th sentence, and a couple of sentences about that. So by the time I get done with my alternating paragraph, I'm going to have 7 to 8 to 9 sentences about cats and dogs and how they affect an owner's lifestyle. If I do that in every paragraph, I then will have 21 to 27 sentences in the body of my essay, and hitting 600 words is a lot easier if I have more sentences. I got a narrative that had 14 sentences in it. That's not enough. You just can't get enough words if you don't have enough sentences. And your sentences can all be, I like dogs, dogs run, cats play. You've got to have a little bit more going on. Okay? So that's the first one. Let's go back over to the PDF now. We're going to look at, I'm not going to talk about block. I'm going to finish all of the point by point now. So here's topic sentence 2. This is actually paragraph 3, aspect 2. Again, they've done the same thing. This should be sentence 2. Cats are less expensive to own and care for. On the Word document tells you to say, another factor to consider when getting a pet is the expense of owning one. Another factor to consider when purchasing a new phone is the available apps. See how I can make it fit? I can make that topic sentence fit whatever I'm discussing. Another factor to consider when deciding on offense or defense is player physiques. Just made up something. Okay, I don't know. All right? So, but you've got to have that topic sentence has got to be pulled back to not discuss a specific subject. So we go back to the PDF and we see food and healthcare are usually less expensive, they're less likely to cause property damage. It's interesting because a lot of people will not rent apartments to people who have cats. Because when you tend to be somebody in an apartment with a cat, you don't let your cat outside, so, you know, when they get frustrated, they may urinate wherever they want. Dogs urinate wherever they want too, right? That's why you gotta let dogs out. I'm gonna talk about then you transition to dogs. Food is more expensive, overbreeding. I'm just gonna tell you, dogs are expensive. I spent $1,600 on one of my dogs to have bladder stones removed in May, and he already has bladder stones again. That's his tendency, but we're doing okay. And then the other dog had to have some teeth removed, and that was $400. I just paid that off. I just paid it off. Took me a while to get it, you know, that's not cheap. I must love my dogs a lot. So, it is expensive when you have pets. And we weren't even gonna talk about how much it costs to neuter a pet now. It's ridiculous. Okay, so that's what you're doing. Once again, get rid of the transition sentence at the end. Unless you can do it well. If you can't do it well, don't do it. That's my thoughts on it, okay? So when we go over and look at the word corrections, cats are less expensive to own and care for. A couple of sentences explaining that. You transition to dogs. Contrarily, dogs tend to be more expensive for pet owners. So I, as a reader, know that cats are cheaper if I'm going to get a pet. They really are. He only cost me $11. I'll just tell you that. We went to the vet last week, and she warned him, said, let's just start her at 11. When she brings him in for first set of shots, we'll get her then. That's what my vet said. I've known her a long time, so, okay. And then you give a couple of sentences of that. So now I've got a second paragraph that's got 7 to 8 to 9 sentences in it, okay? So that length is increasing. We go back over to the third aspect, which is now body paragraph 4. Cats need few special house accommodations. So you don't even have it grammatically correct. There's second sentence again, okay? It should be, the final issue when purchasing a pet is, that should be is, not are. See, teacher makes mistakes too. Is the house accommodations. No, it is are, because, no, issue is. I was picking it up off accommodations, which is the direct object. No. Something. Okay, cats don't require much space. See how I just took their sentence, and made it my second sentence, okay? A couple of sentences about that, you transition. In contrast, dogs need outdoor and indoor space, and a couple of sentences about that, okay? I've got a daughter who goes home every day during her lunch hour to let her dogs out. She doesn't have doggy doors because her dogs are too big. If you have a doggy door big enough for them, a human can crawl in it. So, if you want to get your house broken into, that's a good way to do it. So, let's go over here and see what they say. They don't take up much space, they're less intrusive. That kitten is tiny. Dogs often need yard and fence, require more safety and protective measures, okay? Again, once again, take off that transition sentence. Blue is a nice color, okay? And then you come down to the conclusion. Summary of the main points, an evaluation or possible future developments, and then the significance to the author. But they're not using I or me or my. When considering adopting a pet, a prospective owner must consider the lifestyle, finances, and household accommodations that the pet would require. Owners who neglect to compare these aspects will often not care for their pet in a safe manner. And that's okay. If you don't look at those things, you know, you do have to be careful with pets. You know, there's certain plants you don't have in your house, okay? And if you look, you're going to see that just like the introduction, the conclusion is the same. You don't have to change your conclusion based on your organization. You can leave it like that. You can use the same thing. If you're thinking, man, I don't have enough words, I've only got 500 words, you got to come up with another 100 words. Try switching to alternating and see if it works. If you're doing block, okay? So here's block, a little bit different in the sense that topic sentence 1, cats are easier and less expensive to care for. So you get 2 of the criteria in the topic sentence, and that's okay. But you have to, then all of a sudden you focus on the lifestyle. Don't have to be watched during the day, easier to get care, cost, house accommodations. Once again, you've got that infamous transition sentence. Let's go look at the word version of how I modified that. So here we go, paragraph 2, cats are easier and less expensive to care for. Sentence 2, cats make less of an impact on an owner's lifestyle. a couple of sentences about that. So now I've got 4 sentences in my body paragraph that's only going to talk about cats. I'm 4 sentences in. You transition to the next factor. Also, cats are less expensive to own and care for. A couple of sentences about that. So now I've got 7 sentences. Transition to the final factor. Because of their small size, cats require less house accommodations. A couple of sentences about that. So you're going to get maybe 9 or 10 sentences in a body paragraph if you do block. Depends on how much information you have. But you're going to see, if I have 2 body paragraphs that are 9 to 10 sentences, I only have 20 sentences, where I can have 21 to 29 in the alternating. So there's a reason to do that length. Okay. So we go to topic sentence 2. Dogs are active and loyally engaging pets. That's a great sentence. Doesn't even mention the criteria. But you can say, but you've got to go look at lifestyle, cost, and house accommodations. And if you bother to go and compare the bulleted points under each one, they're carried over. You're talking about the same points. You're just doing them in a slightly different organizational method. So when we go look at topic 2, which is dogs, and look at that paragraph, dogs make a good choice when adopting a pet. Unlike cats, see, I throw in there the comparison. So I know we've been talking about dogs, and didn't we talk about lifestyle? Dogs will require significant changes in a person's lifestyle. A couple of sentences about that, you know. But you're not going to say, Mrs. Thompson's daughter has to go home every day and let her dogs out. I don't need to be in your essay either, okay? Or your parents don't. You transition to the next factor. When it comes to the expense of owning a dog, this pet can be very expensive. Or you could say cost if you didn't want to do expense again. A couple of sentences about that. You transition to the final factor. In contrast to felines, dogs need outdoor and indoor space. Okay? So you're doing the same thing, you're just organizing it slightly different. Alternating lends itself to a slightly longer paper. What I noticed, I just saw an outline from somebody, and they had 2 subjects, but they only showed 2 criteria, but they hadn't named the criteria. And in reality, within what they discussed, they weren't talking about the same things. You have to look at the exact same things in both subjects. You can't talk about cost on one and not talk about it for the other. Okay? So, when it comes down to organization, alternating, body paragraphs have to have topic sentences that only mention the criteria. After that, in alternating, then you talk about subject 1, give me whatever I need on that, then you transition to subject 2 in the same paragraph. And you do that for each of the 3 traits. Block, the topic sentence focuses on the subject. The iPhone 13 Pro is a great phone if a consumer's looking to buy one. Then you go through the available apps on this phone are blah, 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 blah. There are also multiple camera options, blah, 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 blah. The cost is going to be, well, your firstborn child, whatever. They're expensive. You can't even get them right now, can you? Aren't they all sitting out on boats in the ports, unable to get delivered, right? That's what we're seeing on the news. Everything. There's not going to be a Christmas because everything's sitting on a boat right now. Okay? So that's the difference. What your topic sentences focus on. Okay? Let's see where we're at time-wise. All right. So now I want to go look at the sample CNC paper. You don't have access. I didn't print you a copy of this. You're going to have to follow along online as I do it. But it is one of the things I did do just a minute ago. That's the wrong class. It helps if I get in the right section. When you go into content and go into week 6, you're going to see, it's not there. Hold on. I need to copy in the documents from week 5. I'm just moving all the documents, or putting another copy in week 6, because that's where we're at. Okay. So now when you go into week 6, there's the compare and contrast handouts. So that's week 5 for one thing. That's why it freaked me out. I was like, the discussion board's not there. I know I did it. Okay, here's week 6. Turn in the draft. There's the quiz. Here's the discussion board. There's the graphic organizer. This is one I filled out over Star Wars and Star Trek. there's the peer revision, so you have another copy, and there's all the handouts right there. So in there is good compare and contrast. It's not great, it's just a good one. I'm gonna close that one because I've already got it open. So, just to remind you, you put your name up there, double space before you do anything. Mrs. Thompson, your section for SBC is going to be 209, and for the high school kids is 444. And the date it's due is, what is Monday's date? Is that the 11th? Yeah, the 11th. It should be 11 October 2021. Do not put periods, commas after that. It should just be, let me fix it, 12. If I'm going to abbreviate October, OCT period and a space, or I can spell October. Not, there we go, and it's 2021. Now, the other thing I'm going to show you right now is that I've noticed that you guys have no clue where periods are supposed to go. I have seen periods floating in the middle of some blank space. When you finish a sentence, the last letter, the last word should have a period right after it. It doesn't get to float a space away or 2 spaces away, okay? So you put the period there, and then you put at least 1 space, and traditionally it should be 2. That's why it upsets me they don't do keyboarding anymore, because you could learn this in keyboarding, okay? And then you start the next sentence, all right? Because I've seen people, they'll write, and they'll put quotation marks, so they'll be quoting something, they'll put the quotation marks right here, and they start the next word right after the quotation marks. There have to be spaces between words for me to be able to read them, okay? That's all I'm saying. Don't make it hard on me, because that makes me cranky. And they're talking about how we can grade unbiased. Well, my problem with grading unbiased is I don't like sitting on a computer grading all the time. That's why you saw my wonderful handwriting on all your graded essays. They all have theirs back now. Okay. Coffee versus energy drinks. Don't put up there compare and contrast draft. You know how many times I've seen that on narrative? I've seen narrative draft final. That's a contradiction. A draft is not a final. Oh, there's a title. Thank you, Isaiah. Road trip. I think these are my last out of this. Family. All right, Julian. Okay. So, give me a title. Coffee versus energy drinks. iPhone versus Samsung, whatever. Apple versus PC, IBM. I don't care what you're doing, okay? So here we've got a decent one. It's an interesting introduction. Many people need a jolt in the morning to get going. There are 2 types of these people, coffee drinks and energy drink consumers. I have a problem. I don't drink either. You have an energy drink. Which one is it?
Bang.
Bang. So just on the back of it, I'm just out of curiosity, how much caffeine is in that? Does it tell you how much caffeine?
No, but I know it's bad for you, though.
Well, you're going to find out more, okay? And it's amazing to me how many of you drink coffee. I see, Caleb, you have water, that's good. I'm having caffeine. I got to have something to drink. While both beverages have a variety of flavors, the ingredients and caffeine content in energy drinks vary greatly to the ingredients and caffeine content in most homemade beverages. So, this is a long thesis. Are we hearing her talking next door? Okay, it's hard to tell if it's, because the sound is coming from there to me, so she may be hearing me, I don't care, all right. So here's your thesis, it's kind of long, and it's interesting in the fact that it actually tells you what they have similar and what they have different. It says, while both beverages have a variety of flavors, that's something they have that they share. The ingredients and caffeine content vary greatly to the ingredients in energy drinks, vary greatly to caffeine content in most homemade coffee beverages. So I know my 3 criteria: flavors available, ingredients, overall ingredients, and caffeine content. So I know those are 3 things. So that's why I have up here in yellow, variety of flavors. I put green, that which is the A category, the ingredients is the B, caffeine content is C. So it looks like we're going to do energy drinks and caffeine content, energy drinks and coffee. One of the issues I have with this is that the author flips the 2, because if you go up here, they say coffee and energy drinks. So they gave me a list in that second sentence, but then they flip it in their thesis. So that sends a conflicting message to the reader about organization. So, but my first body paragraph should be about variety of flavors, or the first aspect should be that, whatever it is. And the reason I know it's going to be that is because I've taught it already. The great thing about the selections of beverages today is that there are a variety of flavors to choose from. So that sentence tells me that's a criteria. That's why I highlighted it in yellow, that this is going to be alternating point by point. Okay? That's what that told me. If it had said, coffee is an excellent choice for a person to begin their day with, that would have told me it was blocked. Both coffee and energy drinks come in a great assortment of flavors. And so then and if you look here, it says coffee and energy drinks, but then this person talks about energy drinks here. So if you give an order, you got to follow it. So yes, it's a good topic sentence for alternating, but the rest of the paragraph loses cohesion because there's this flipping back and forth between the two topics. And they do it throughout the paper. Energy drinks come in but see, coffee and come in a great assortment. Energy drinks, blah, 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 blah. Coffee is generally ordered this way or offered. And we all know pumpkin spice latte. Do any of you drink coffee? Do you like pumpkin spice? You haven't tried it? I like the smell of pumpkin spice. I don't want to drink it. I guess I wouldn't survive in Hogwarts or in Hogsmeade because I'm not a pumpkin juice drinker. Okay, but basically it goes on and says, one great thing about the versatile flavors of coffee is that it can be enjoyed hot or cold, while energy drinks are best served cold. There in that sentence is a good statement. It says, yes, coffee has this advantage when it comes to drinking it. Temperature's not really part of flavors, is it? But they kind of snuck it in. But it does affect the flavor if you're drinking something hot versus drinking it cold. My kitten likes its watered down formula warm versus cold. Okay? I guess it's just like a human. So, wait a second. So I know we're doing alternating. If I go up here, back to the thesis statement, I see it's variety of flavors, ingredients in green, and caffeine content in blue. The author does the body paragraphs in the incorrect order. Flips the second and third ones. So, if you notice you've done that, you don't have to move the paragraphs around, just change the order in the thesis to fit what you wrote. So take the time to go, did I do them in the right order? Are they in the same order if I'm doing alternating? Make sure of that, okay? So we go here and say, we're going to talk about caffeine. Many people will be shocked to learn the caffeine content of their favorite morning beverage. We're going to get you right here, Julian. Most people assume an energy drink has more caffeine than a cup of coffee. Nice use of a semicolon with however, this is not true. A cup of filtered coffee actually has more caffeine per ounce, 18 milligrams, than an energy drink has per ounce, 10 milligrams. That's in an ounce. So how many ounces are in your can? Look at the front, it should tell you.
16.
16, okay, so it's pretty standard then that you've got 16 ounces. So a 16-ounce cup of Starbucks coffee has even more caffeine, 330 milligrams, than a 16-ounce cup of Monster Energy drink, 160 milligrams. So that should tell you, it's kind of interesting. 10 times 16 is 160, okay? While both drinks have a substantial amount of caffeine, the differences in how much are actually shocking. That's a good paragraph. Talked about both. All right, so now we're going to pick up the second point that we have out of order. The variances in these two beverages are not only in the caffeine content, but also in the rest of the ingredients. That's an okay transition because it's not too wordy. I had somebody that had a transition sentence attached to their topic sentence, and it was 3 lines long. That's too long. You really don't want to make your topic sentence too long. Coffee is pretty straightforward. Now we're back to doing coffee first. Ingredient-wise, a fresh cup of brewed coffee takes ground-up coffee beans and hot water. Energy drinks, however, have a host of ingredients marked on the back of the can. Most energy drinks contain caffeine, carbonated water, amino acids, preservatives, dyes, vitamins, there should be a comma there, and possibly even herbs. One of the most dangerous ingredients is most likely the immense amount of sugar in a normal energy drink. Okay? So it's got some good stuff in it, I'm going to tell you that much, but there are some organizational issues. Overall, both beverage choices leave people with an elevated level of energy and concentration. That's a good start. Is that why you drink it? Because it wakes you up, gives you some energy? Okay. While coffee can be enjoyed hot or cold in a variety of flavors, the energy drink can be quite refreshing with its carbonated fruit flavors. So we're actually bringing the comparison and contrast down into the into the conclusion too. The caffeine content in both drinks allows a person to power through his or her morning routine, classwork, or a busy day at work. While the caffeine levels are substantially higher in coffee, the extra sugar in energy drinks can also aid, that's the wrong aid, it should not have the E, a person's energy levels. And then the biggest difference in a cup of coffee and an energy drink would be the extra ingredients. Coffee itself does not contain sugar, unlike an energy drink. Sugar is poured in by people who drink it because it tends to be bitter, am I correct? I don't drink coffee, so. The choice between the two comes down to how many ingredients the person would like to consume and how much caffeine that person requires to get his or her day started right, okay? So I like the conclusion on it. I like the introduction. I just don't like the flipping, getting some stuff out of order. But it has good topic sentences, okay? So it's a good example of topic sentences. All right, so we've got about 10 minutes left. We're almost done, all right? So you'll be able to leave a little bit early. So tomorrow, grammar quiz between 8 and midnight. High schools, you guys ought to take it during class. It makes sense to get it done. There shouldn't be a reason for you not to take it while you're sitting in class. Make sure you have the subject, verb, pronoun, and antecedent agreement pages. I'm going to look and see. I thought I had some left. I've got all kinds of stuff sitting in here. I need to throw that away. Of course I can. Here we go. They look like this. It has that CWC on it. There's 2 pages to it. If anybody needs, I've got a couple of copies left if you can't find it here. You need that. It will help you do very well on this quiz, the grammar quiz. Only 25 points, and it's going to be another one of those true-false ones again. And tomorrow night, you have to turn in the draft of your CNC paper to me. Again, I will make a comment on it. I will look at thesis statements, topic sentences only, unless there's a you in it, and then I'll tell you there's no you in this paper. No second person. Anytime you see no second, I'm not even going to write person anymore. I'm just going to say no seconds, okay?
And the draft is due tomorrow night.
The draft is due tomorrow by midnight. Okay. But I want you to realize again, and the kids at home also have this option. If you go into course resources in your class, let me come over here. You'll see right here under my course content, my grades, course resources, you're going to see tutoring information. Tutor.com is the one that's available from 8 p.m. at night till 8 a.m. in the morning. So once you get your draft done and you submit it, you could just, if you've got some time and you're not out partying on a Friday night or at a football game, okay? Well, I'm guessing that's where most of the high school kids are going to be, or unless they're working. You can upload it, and there are live tutors when you go in, okay? So that is available to you. Remember, you get so many minutes a week, so you just connect. You can't connect now because it's not open right now. But from Friday at 8 p.m. until 8 a.m. Sunday morning, you have access all weekend. There should be somebody there, okay? So you can schedule one, and see it says we're closed right now, and it gives you the hours, okay? So that's a possibility if you need some help, okay? So don't forget, and the reason I'm saying that is because chances are you may not have 2 people look at your essay in the peer revision discussion board. So if you want somebody's help, that's the easiest way to get it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's because you log in through Blackboard, it shows you as one of our students, and you're allowed that. So we're paying them money for you guys to be tutored if nobody uses it. So it would be helpful if you do it, okay? Just remember, you have to do 2 things. You have to upload your paper to me in that turn in a draft area. Let me get out of that. Go back in to week 6. Okay. So where it says, it's right underneath the checklist, turn in draft of CNC here. If you want to see what I said about your thesis and topic sentences, go look there. The discussion board is right here. It's 25 points. Make sure you get at least 1 done so that you don't lose points, okay? But you have to answer the questions. And it's easier on whoever's going to do peer revision for you if you if you copy and paste your document into the thread area. If you upload the document, then they have to work back and forth between the questions and your document to do the reply. Whereas they can just scroll on the screen up and down like this if it's in their document, okay? And your actual paper is due Monday. So in week 7, you will see, that's not where I wanted to be. Course content, week 7. And it's going to turn it in again. So make sure you get that receipt. Remember, you upload it, you've got a preview, and then you have to confirm that you want to submit it. Non-enrolled student, adding, I could do it as CNC, choose from this computer. You know, I turn in stuff, but it never sees it. I never see it. Those documents just float around there somewhere. You can clear it, once it's going to upload, it takes, oh wait, I've got to click upload. Remember, it'll give you a preview of the document. Make sure it's the right document. And then you click confirm, and that's when you get up at the top, there's your submission is complete. Okay? You have to go through that second step of confirm that you want it submitted in. All right? Have a great weekend. Good luck on your football games, your jobs. Make sure you get the work done. Okay? Don't ask me about making up work you missed. Any makeups are going to be the week before finals. I'm not.
Your conference is scheduled to end in 2 minutes.
That's too much work. Oh, I'm the only one who's turned it in. That makes sense. Okay? And again, you guys look in my grades tomorrow and Saturday. Well, today and tomorrow. Because Saturday I'm not going to come drive out here to scan them. I guess I could, you have the ability to scan on your phones and notes, don't you? You can scan a document? Yeah. But then it's how good, you know, it's not always easy. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Your conference is now over. Goodbye.
I just uploaded, they're gone. Okay, I won't talk to them then. Let's go look at course messages, make sure I don't have any. don't say.